Nestled along the scenic coastline of West Africa lies a nation that embodies the essence of rich cultural heritage, economic vibrancy, and natural beauty, the Republic of Benin. From its bustling markets to its historical landmarks, Benin Republic offers a captivating tapestry of experiences waiting to be explored. And we'll try to unwrap some of the goodness of this tropical country in today's video. The Republic of Benin, formerly known as Dahomey, is a small country with a population of about 13 million as of 2021. The country is nestled between Nigeria on the east, Togo on the west, Burkina Faso on the northwest, and Niger on the northeast. Like most of its neighbors, part of Benin's history is marred by being colonized by the French for more than a century. But then in 1958, France decided to grant them autonomy as the Republic of Dahomey, eventually granting them full independence on the 1st of August 1960. There are a number of lingering effects of the long period of colonialism on the Republic of Benin, some of which, like the looting of local artifacts, are similar to other former colonies. But one of the most pronounced lingering effects is the fact that the official language of the country is French. French is the only language of instruction at the secondary level, and it is also one of the languages of instruction at the elementary level. However, indigenous languages are also widely spoken, including Fon, Bariba, Yoruba, and Dendi. Plus, elementary school children are typically taught in their local language, in addition to French. The country's capital is Porto Novo, which is actually a Portuguese term that means new port. However, the seat of government is in Cotonou, which happens to be both the most populous city and the country's economic capital. More than half of Benin's population claim to practice Christianity, with the second largest practiced religion by a wide margin being Islam. Only about 18% of Beninese practice their traditional religions. Thankfully, years of colonization have not completely stripped Benin of its rich culture. At the heart of Benin Republic's allure remains its vibrant cultural scene, steeped in centuries of tradition and heritage. The country is home to a wide selection of ethnic groups, with the Fon, Aja, and Mina, and Yorubas comprising the majority. And of course, each ethnic group contributes unique customs, languages, and artistic expressions to the national tapestry, making Benin a really interesting country. One of the most renowned aspects of Benin's culture is its captivating traditional music and dance. Through the years and centuries, Beninese native folk music has evolved to be an interesting mixture of Ghanaian highlife, French cabaret, American rock, funk and soul, and even Congolese rumba. When you add this mix to the graceful movements of traditional Beninese dancers, you begin to appreciate just how artistic the Beninese are. The country's rich artistic heritage is also evident in its craftsmanship, with skilled artisans producing exquisite works of art, including intricate wood carvings, vibrant textiles, and stunning ivory sculptures. In fact, when the colonialists first got into Benin, one of the things that they decided to acquire for themselves were carved ivory items in the form of hunting horns, salt cellars, and even spoons. Now, visitors to Benin Republic can immerse themselves in this artistic tradition by exploring local markets and workshops, where they can witness these masterpieces being created firsthand. If you're ever in the country, don't miss the opportunity to sample the delectable flavors of Beninese cuisine. Southern Benin is known for their many corn dishes, and they seem to like their meat as well, including fish, chicken, beef, goat, and bushrat. On the northern side, though, yams seem to be a more prominent feature in their meals, although they also seem to really like their cheese. Moving on from food, let's look at what development is like in the country. Benin Republic is unfortunately not one of the most developed countries in Africa. Still, there's no denying the fact that in recent years, Benin Republic has made some strides in infrastructure development. In 2015, to be specific, the country decided to focus scientific research on certain areas including health, education, transportation, and trade, food, and energy. And more than 5 years later, it looks like all of that research is kind of paying off. For instance, the country's road network has undergone extensive expansion and modernization, making it easier for people and goods to move efficiently across the country. What's more, in 2017, Benin's overall macroeconomic conditions were positive, showing a growth rate of more than 5%. Unfortunately, depending on who you ask, the country has not been able to reach its potential both research and development-wise. And this is not because there aren't enough brains and brawn to do the work. Like a number of countries in Africa, one of the biggest problems plaguing the country and making development slow is the political landscape. It looks like Benin has a government that considers other things more important than extensive development. Speaking of which, at the helm of affairs in Benin Republic is President Patrice Talon, who is currently at the tail end of his second term in office. He was first elected in 2016, and for some reason was re-elected by the overwhelming majority in 2021. The Republic of Benin operates a presidential representative democratic republic, which means that President Patrice is both the head of state and the head of government. And that seems to be part of the problem. While there have been a number of infrastructural developments since President Talon assumed office, the political landscape and general safety in the country has taken a nosedive. Where Benin ranked 53rd out of 169 countries in the 2007 Worldwide Press Freedom Index, they dropped to 78th in 2016, the year that Talon was first sworn in. They have since fallen even further to 113th. From all indications, his second term has been considerably worse than his first. Right before the 2021 election, the Talon government introduced new rules that basically raised the cost of registering to contest in elections, effectively fielding out some people. What's more, the Electoral Commission, which is supposed to be transparent, was filled with Talon's allies, and they were able to prevent members of the opposition party from contesting in the parliamentary election. So right now, the parliament is just a bunch of Talon goons. The judiciary that is supposed to be independent of the executive and legislative is also in the president's pocket, currently headed by his former personal lawyer. Of course, there are some people that absolutely swear by the Talon administration, but there are many others that cannot wait for his tenure to be over. Meanwhile, there are other forms of authority in the Republic of Benin. There are numerous non-sovereign monarchies within the country, many of which are derivatives of pre-colonial kingdoms. They do not have an official or constitutional role, but they are very influential, and the actual elected leaders know to listen to them and get their approval. In spite of the shady and probably downright ineffective government, Benin Republic remains blessed with a wealth of natural resources, including its prized white gold, cotton. The country's cotton industry plays a vital role in its economy, providing employment for thousands of people and serving as a major source of export revenue. Just to be more specific, cotton accounts for 40% of the country's GDP and about 80% of its official export. It's no wonder that it is referred to as white gold. In general, though, Benin's economy is heavily reliant on subsistence farming, and aside from cotton, they produce and export a lot of palm oil. Furthermore, the country's strategic location along the Gulf of Guinea offers significant trade opportunities, with its ports serving as important hubs for regional commerce and connectivity. In fact, commerce and the wider service industry contribute to the bulk of Benin's GDP and also help to boost the country's tourism industry. Speaking of the tourism industry, the Republic of Benin is home to a number of exciting tourist attractions that continue to draw in thousands of visitors. Lac Nokoué, for instance, which is considered the Venice of Africa, is a highly visited excursion point in Cotonou. The Artisanal Center is another frequently visited spot, especially by tourists who are looking to grab something sentimental and local. We can't forget the Penjari National Park, considered one of the last true wildernesses in West Africa, the Ouida Museum of History, ending at the Gate of No Return, and the Temple de Python. In spite of the draw that Benin has, urbanization has been stagnant for many years. Only about 50% of the population is urban, and this has been the case for a while, practically for as long as Talon has been the president. As for housing, houses are starting to look more Western, which some are defining as modern. Unfortunately, because many of the materials for these kinds of houses have to be imported, constructing them has been more expensive, consequently making housing in urban areas more expensive than they used to be. Meanwhile, traditional Beninese houses are still a common feature of rural Benin. Houses in northern Benin are typical round huts made of beaten mud and with a conical thatched roof. On the other hand, houses in southern Benin are typically rectangular huts with sloping roofs made out of palm fronds or straw thatch. If you visit the coastal lagoons, though, you'll find that many of the houses are built on stilts. If you'll be visiting these places, bear in mind that they are more than just tourist attractions. They are actual houses where people live. At the end of the day, Benin Republic is more than just a geographical location. It's a vibrant mosaic of culture, history, and even economic potential. So, if you were thinking of expanding your tourism repertoire beyond the regular, maybe consider this little powerhouse in the heart of West Africa. Meanwhile, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like this, consider hitting the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell. Also, don't forget to hit the like button on this video, and we'll see you in the next one.